Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome everyone on today's lecture, that is basics of market structure, and this is ninth module, lecture 1 of this series. I am Dr. Tilkaraj, currently working as assistant professor at University Business School, Punjab University, Chandigarh. Project name DTH Swayam Prabha, MHRD, New Delhi. So let us discuss about the market structure. The market structure refers to the degree of competition prevailing in that particular market. So we'll focus on the term market and market structure, basic components of market, classification of different types of market, factors determine the market structure. Let us discuss what is market. In ordinary language, you know that the term market refers to the public place in which goods and services are bought and sold. The place where people purchase the goods and sellers sell their goods are basically known as market in ordinary language. A market is a place where two parties gather to facilitate the exchange of goods and services. But in economics, it has the different meaning. In economics, it is used as a special sense. Different economists have tried to define market in different ways. Let us discuss. Carnot defines market as not a particular place in which things are bought and sold, but the whole region in which buyer and seller are in such free intercourse with each other is called market. Means market doesn't mean is a particular place. There should not be a place in economics. Market can be exist anywhere. So there are three things required in a market in case of economics. One, there should be buyers. Two, there should be sellers. And three, commodity for exchange. So market doesn't mean a particular place. Market can exist anywhere if the three things are there: buyer, seller, and commodity for exchange. Chapman says that the term market refers not a place but a commodity or commodities and buyer and sellers who in different competition with one another. It can be any place where the commodities and buyer and sellers in a different competitions with one another. They are purchasing the goods, they are selling the goods, and that we can call market in economics. So market here does not mean a specific place. According to J.C. Edwards, a market is a mechanism by which buyers and sellers bow together. It is not necessarily a fixed place. It means in economics, the market doesn't mean a specific place. Market can exist, for example, online, for example, in any place, in your house, or any place where the buyer and sellers has the close contact, or they may be purchase or sell any commodity. So market in economics does not mean a particular place, and it means the whole area, the area where buyers and sellers of a commodity in such close contact with each other that the price of the same commodity leads to be one throughout that area. Price also play important role in the market if this market concept we discuss in economics. So let us discuss about the basic features of market in economics, the components of market in economics. The only essential for a market is that buyers and sellers should be contact touch with each other. So if you have the contact with each other, means if you are buyer and if you have some contact with seller, even through online or any sources, if you have the contact and if you can purchase something from them, then that would be called as a market in economics. It means both buyer and seller need in the market. It is necessary that in a market buyer and seller should be there. And commodity for exchange, definitely a commodity should be offered for the sale in the market, otherwise there is no question of buying the commodity. So buyer, seller and commodity is required. These are the basic feature of a market or component of the market. There should be a price of the commodity, because of price in economics, that play a very important role. Price can increase or decrease the demand of the commodity, as we have already discussed. Higher the price, lower the demand, lower the price, higher the demand. And without the price, the commodity cannot be, the seller will not ready to sell. Consideration must. So the exchange of commodities between buyer and seller occurs at particular price which mutually agreeable to both buyer and sellers. So if both agree, if sellers is ready to sell, buyers are ready to purchase, only then the market will take place. If commodity is there, buyer and sellers are there, but they are not ready to purchase or sell the commodity, they are not, the mutually agreeable price is not there, then market does not take place in economics. So mutually agreeable, mutually consent of both buyer and seller is also important component of the market. Let us classify the market. Classification of market, general classification of market can be that there can be different types of market. For example, we can classify the market on the basis of area, wholesale market, local market, national market, international market. So on the basis of we can classify, let us discuss in detail. On the basis of time, short run, long run market, we can discuss. On the basis of nature of transactions. Fourth, on the basis of volume of business, we can classify. Fifth, on the basis of regulation, whether the government control or no control in the market. And on the basis of competition, we can classify the market. And here in economics, we have to focus, or our focus will be on the basis of competition. Basis of competition, like perfect competition, monopolistic competition, monopoly, oligopoly, etc. So let us discuss one by one all these classification of a market. Market, I have already stated, on the basis of area can be classified into local market, national market and international market. If buyers and sellers are located in a particular locality, it is called local market. If the buyers and seller both are from a local market, then it is known as the local market. all the vegetables market, fruits market, and we local made product. The market for the local made product on that particular area is called as the local market. The commodity which are perishable in nature, the goods which are perishable in nature, they cannot be stored for a long period of time, maybe milk. They cannot be taken to the distant places. The things which we cannot taken to be the distant places can be called as the local market. Local buyer, local sellers, and locally, if that the commodity are distributed, then we can say that this is the local market. Local market. Now second one is on the basis of area. When a commodity is demanded and supplied all over the country, then we call it is the national market. National market means the demand and supply of the product is not in a particular area, but it is all over the country, every state. Then we can say this is the national market. This is the national market. And when buyers and sellers of the commodity from all over the world, it is called international market. International market means whole of the world, the demand for the product is not located in a local or a state or a nation, but it crosses the boundaries. International market. When trade takes place between the two countries, when commodities are sold beyond that the geographical area of the country, then we can say this is the international market. International market. So we have local market, national market, international market. International market means when export or import are made, that takes place between the two countries. Now, on the basis of time, the time element has used by the Marshall for classify the market. Marshall has divided the market on the basis of time. On the basis of time, market has been classified into very short period, long period, and maybe very long period. 4 types on the basis of time. Very short period means when the commodities supply is very fixed. All the perishable nature in goods, which we include the very short period. Very short period means the market, this refers to the market situation where in which commodities that are fixed supply or perishable in nature. Supply cannot be increased from the existing stock you have. When supply cannot exceed beyond the existing stock you have or the producer have, we can call this the very short period market. For example, given a particular time of you cannot increase the vegetable. You need to produce that the vegetable, tomato, potato, etc. at least 3 to 4 months or 6 months. You cannot over the night you can produce these things. You need the time to increase the supply of a particular product. So this is called as the very short period. When the supplier has not the capacity to increase the supply beyond his existing stock. Since supply is fixed, so only the changes in demand influence the price. In very short period, only demand can influence the price. Supply cannot affect the price of the commodity because of supply is fixed. Second one, the short period market. Short period market are those where supply can be increased but only to a limited extent. Short period are those where supply can be increased but only up to a limited extent. Means supply can increase but up to the existing capacity of the producer. There may be some factor of production are fixed. You cannot increase all the factor of production. You need some time, but to very short period में you cannot increase. Supply can increase up to the existing capacity, but maybe there are some factor of production are fixed. Now, long period, it refers to the market where adequate time is available for the change in the supply by changing the fixed factor of production. No factor of production is fixed here. Every factor of production is variable. You can adjust your demand and supply according to the requirement. So long period means you don't have the fixed factor. Demand and supply both play an important role in determination of the price. Both affect the price of a commodity. But in the long run, very long run, which also known as the secular period, trade cycle, fluctuation. So very long period is one in which changes take place in factor like the population. The population will increase or decrease, and when there is a change, this is called as very long period. The supply of capital and raw material etc. will affect in the long run, very long period. So this is the very long period market. Now, let us discuss next the basis of nature of this market structure. So market also can be classified on the basis of nature of transactions. Market are classified on the basis of nature of transaction into two broad categories. Two parts. One, spot market, and two, future market. Spot market and future market. When goods are physically transacted on spot, immediate, the market is called spot market. On spot, immediate, physically, when transaction take place is called as spot market. When demand will be fulfilled immediately, but physically, on spot. But in case of transaction involve agreement, you agree, you signed the agreement for the future. So, future exchange of goods, when the transaction take place in future, is known as the future market through agreement. Whereas in case of the spot market, immediate or spot, physical transaction. But in case of agreement, maybe the demand, the supply will take place or transaction will take place in future. Next, classification on the basis of volume of business. Volume of business. Based on the volume of business, market are broadly classified into wholesale and retail market. Wholesale and retail market. Wholesale, in the wholesale market, goods are transacted in large quantity, huge quantity. Whereas in the retailer market, it is the link between the wholesaler and the consumer. They purchase from the wholesaler and provide the commodities to the to the consumer as per their requirement. So retailer market, the quantities are not in large size but small size, provided by the seller to the consumer. This is called retailer. So on the basis of, we have two types of market. We can classify market in two types. One is wholesale market, and second one retail market. Let us discuss on the basis of regulation. On the basis of regulation, market is classified into regulated market, which non the controlled market, or unregulated market, where the government has no control over the market. So government play important role in case of regulation. Regulation is the act of controlling, or a law, or rule, or order the government over the goods and services. Government control over the goods and services. Government has some order or rule you have to follow in that particular market. There's a scientifically and systematically organized market. Regulated market or regulation. The regulated markets are those markets which are scientifically and systematically managed market. But when market is not systematically managed, there's no control, there's no government order or laws, transactions are left to the market forces. These are called as unregulated market. Unregulated market means there's no systematically or scientifically managed market. They are known as the unregulated market. Next, on the basis of competition, which are basically the part of our syllabus, or in economics, we have to focus on the basis of competition. This is very, very important for us being a student of economics. Market are classified on the basis of nature of competition, basically into perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic competition, oligopoly, and so on. So let us discuss the principal criteria for the classification of the market. Now, on the basis of competition, market can be classified on the basis of buyers and sellers, number of buyers and sellers. When there is a large number of buyers and sellers, it is situation of perfect competition. In perfect competition, we have a large number of buyers and sellers. But when the buyers and sellers are very few, then we can call it the oligopoly. But in monopoly, there is only one seller. Maybe buyers can be large number, but the seller will be one. Then we can call this market is monopoly. And that product has no close substitute. We'll discuss later on in detail. And when there is a large number of buyers and sellers, but they are not homogeneous nature, but they are heterogeneous product, it is called the situation of perfect competition. Imperfect competition, monopolistic competition, when heterogeneous product are there. And oligopoly, few sellers. On the basis of nature of commodity, we can also classify. Nature of commodity, here we mean in a perfectly competitive market, in perfect competition, commodity must be homogeneous in nature. Homogeneous means the same quality, same quantity, same price. You cannot differentiate one commodity with another commodity. This is the homogeneous in nature. So in case of perfect competition, there is a compulsion, or it's a feature of the perfect competition, that all commodities are homogeneous in nature. But in case of the monopolistic competition, the commodity is always differentiated. Product differentiation is there. Close substitutes are available. But in case of monopoly and oligopoly, the product may or may not be homogeneous. In case of monopoly and oligopoly, the product may or may not be homogeneous. They can be homogeneous and there can be also heterogeneous. Third, degree of price control. In perfect competition, when producer, because of their small firms, they don't have the control over price. the firms are price taker only. Now, who will control the price? Industry. The industry has full control over the degree of price control. Whereas in case of monopoly, the producer has full control over the price, and monopolistic and oligopoly partial control over the price. So on the basis of competition, the degree of price control is very, very important. Price control in case of perfect competition, industry, firms are the price taker. They are not price maker. In case of monopoly, the firms are the price maker. In case of oligopoly and monopolistic competitions, there is a partial control over the price. Now, knowledge of the market. Knowledge of the market. In case of perfect competition, buyers and sellers must have, they have the full perfect knowledge about the market. Perfect knowledge, this is the assumption of the perfect competition that buyers and sellers, means buyer knows the price of the commodity, the quality of the commodity, and other feature of the commodity. And sellers also known as the customers or their taste and preferences, etc. So in case of perfect competition, there is a perfect knowledge of the market is must. This is assumption. But in case of monopoly or monopolistic competition or other market, it is not necessary. Even there is a factor, mobility of the factors. Mobility of the factor. Perfect mobility of the factor of production is another unique characteristic of the perfect competition. In perfect competition, we have to assume that factors of production are fully mobile. There is a mobility is there. But it is not essential features of other market like monopoly and monopolistic competitions. Factors mobility is not necessarily in case of perfect competition, monopoly or perfect competition is compulsory, but monopoly and monopolistic compulsory in the competition market is not necessarily that there should be perfect mobility. Now, factor determining the market structure. Which factor determine the market structure in economics? Traditionally, if you see, the market were classified on the basis of number of buyers and sellers, entry condition, whether there is a free entry or there are some restrictions or nature of product. Number of buyers or seller determine the market structure. But this is the traditionally classification. Traditionally, we can classify on the basis of only three entry condition, whether there is some restriction, control, or they are free entry. And nature product, whether the products are homogeneous nature, heterogeneous nature, or which type of products are there. But in the modern analysis, market are classified on the basis of three important criteria, but these are the interdependency of the market. Number of sellers, no doubt. Substitutability of the product, nature of the product, and easy entry and the condition. These are the modern criteria. Now let us discuss the types of the market on the basis of competition. Perfect competition. Even we'll discuss in coming lecture in detail about the equilibrium of the perfect competition, the price of determination and the perfect competition, monopoly and monopolistic competition. One by one, we'll discuss each market. But here, we'll just discussing the structure and their important features, because of these are all the part of the structure of market. Imperfect competition. Imperfect competition can have two parts: monopolistic competition and oligopoly. And third is the monopoly. Perfect means you have the perfect knowledge. All buyers and sellers have the perfect knowledge about the market. Imperfect because of that you don't have the knowledge, because of their close substitutes are available. Large number of buyers and sellers are selling the close substitutes in the market, and monopoly, only one seller. There can be duopoly. Duopoly is special case of oligopoly. When there are only two sellers, then this is called a duopoly. Let us discuss one by one briefly. Firstly, what is perfect and imperfect competition? Perfect competition, I have already told that firms are the price taker. In perfect competition, firms are just price taker. They cannot make the price. Firms cannot make the price. Price will be fixed by the industry. Firms cannot, they don't have the control over the price. The prices will be fixed through demand and supply forces of the market. But in case of imperfect competition, firms indicate the price. They have the partial control over the price. They can partially affect the price. They partially determine the price. There are some important feature of that perfect. How will you distinguish between perfect and imperfect competition? Because of mainly we can distinguish market into two important parts, that is perfect competition and imperfect competition. Perfect competition, all products are identical in nature, homogeneous nature. Quality, quantity, price are same. You cannot differentiate one product with another product. But in case of imperfect competition, there is a product differentiation. Product differentiation is an essential feature of this imperfect competition. The commodities are not homogeneous nature. There is a difference between the commodities. We have various varieties of, for example, the pen, various varieties of any product you have in the market. So, perfect competition more of theoretical importance. Imperfect competition are the market around us. Perfect competition, you can call that, for example, the vegetable market. If you have in the vegetable market is the example of the perfect competition. Agriculture markets are example of nearly perfect competition as well, because of the farmers are the local market. They are all the local market. There is a no doubt large number of farmers, but they are selling the identical same fruits, vegetables, herbs, and whatever they have. And you can easily find out the prices of the goods, but they are usually all about the same in case of perfect competition. But in case of imperfect competition, commodities are not same. You don't have the knowledge about the market. There's a imperfect knowledge about the market. In case of monopoly or monopolistic competition, because of in case of monopoly, firm has full the control over the product as well as the price, where there is no close substitutes available. Monopoly has market power, and monopoly can influence the prices. For example, Microsoft Windows, maybe Diamond, or local maybe natural gas company, and there can be various example in case of monopoly. But monopolistic competition, the market which are that when you purchase some commodity, and I have quoted the example of pen. There are large number of varieties of pens. You can differentiate the pen on the basis of their shape or color or packaging or etc. So product differentiation is there. Oligopoly, few sellers, but they are they are large in size. Oligopoly, automobile. The industry is the example of oligopoly. Car producing companies are example of oligopoly. Duopoly, only two producers. For example, Apple and Android. For example, if we have the electronic payments medium, there are two Mastercard and Visa card. If you take the example of only, for example, there's if two product is Pepsi, Coca-Cola and Pepsi. So these are some example of the oligopoly if you see. So let us discuss something more. Average revenue and marginal revenue and demand curve are the horizontal and straight line. In case of perfect competition, average revenue and margin revenue will be same. In last lecture we have discussed in the chapter of revenue. Average revenue per unit price or a revenue of a commodity. Margin revenue additional revenue. AR is equal to demand curve. We have already discussed. In case of this perfect competition, the AR and MR will be horizontal straight lines. Whereas in case of imperfect competition, MR, AR and demand curve slopes down from left to right. Demand curve will not be horizontally straight line. Now let us discuss briefly about the perfect competition. Perfect competition is a situation when there is a large number of buyers and sellers in the market and they are selling the homogeneous product. Perfect competition, there's a large number of buyers and sellers of the commodity. But the assumption is they are selling homogeneous product. You cannot differentiate one product with another product. They cannot influence the market price by changing the demand or output. Both, whether the sellers or buyers, they cannot influence the price. All firms are the price taker. Second, monopoly. Briefly, we'll discuss detail. We have the whole chapter in the incoming lecture. We'll discuss one by one all these concepts or the market structure in detail, that what is monopoly, how the prices are determined in monopoly. There's the concept of equilibrium of form we'll discuss in the long run and short run. Equilibrium form we'll discuss in coming lecture. Here just we are introducing the concept because of when we discuss the market structure. So these monopoly, monopolistic competition, oligopoly are the important factors of the component of the market structure. That's why we are discussing briefly. In monopoly, there's only one seller producing and selling a product which has no close substitutes available. Only one seller. He has the full control of the market. He can influence the price, but the most important that the commodity he or she is selling has no close substitute. In monopoly, there is no close substitute available. The commodity, unique commodity you have. Monopolist can change both price and quantity because of he has the full control over the market. But the demand curve or AR curve will be downward sloping here also. Higher the price, lower the demand, and lower the price, higher the demand. If the monopolist want to increase the demand of the product, then he has to decrease the price. The demand curve cannot be horizontally. One firm entry is totally blocked. You cannot enter in monopoly. Monopoly can be created or maybe naturally. Created means if you have the government has given the license only one firm to sell the commodity in that market, that firm can behave monopoly. Or maybe there can be some naturally monopoly, monopolistic competition. Many firms compete in a market. and they sell differentiated product in the market, into which the entry of few new sellers is possible. There is no restriction in entry or exit of the firm in case of monopolistic competition, but monopoly, the firm cannot enter in the industry. Firm is also industry, but here in case of monopolistic competition, any firm can enter or any firm can exit. There is no restriction on entry and exit of the firm. All firms are selling differentiated but closely substitutable commodity product. In a monopolistic competitive market, the product of each a close substitute of the product of others. The close substitutes are available. Product differentiation is there. Whereas in oligopoly market, there are few sellers. There is a interdependency among the sellers. Sellers are interdependent. There are few sellers, but they are big in size. They are large in size. You cannot. There's no doubt. The firms can enter in the oligopoly market. There's no restriction, but not easily you can enter in the market because of you have to pay huge amount, huge cost involved in case of entry. You cannot easily enter in the car producing company or start producing your car. No, this is not possible immediately. You must have the huge amount to spend. The product produced may be homogeneous or may be heterogeneous. In oligopoly market, the product may be heterogeneous or may be homogeneous. If the product is homogeneous, is known as the pure oligopoly. In oligopoly, if the product is homogeneous, then it is known as the pure oligopoly. And if the product are heterogeneous, then differentiated oligopoly. So oligopoly can be pure oligopoly or it can be heterogeneous oligopoly. There can be a bilateral monopoly. Bilateral monopoly, it is a market where only one buyer faces one seller. If in a particular market, if there are only two, one is buyer, one sellers, then we can call it bilateral monopoly. Single buyer and single seller individually possess some power to fix the price which the transaction take place between them, then we can say bilateral monopoly. One buyer and one seller in the market. There can be monopoly. Monopoly means it is complementary to monopoly. Complementary to monopoly. In this form of market, only one buyer and large number of sellers. Other conditions are same under the monopoly. Monopoly exists when there is a market dominated by a single buyer. Maybe by giving the power to set the price for whatever is being purchased. For example, Walmart, maybe Microsoft and Google have also been called as the monopoly market. Duopoly I have already stated. It is a special case of oligopoly where there are only two sellers and all other conditions same as under oligopoly. But these are the rare market. These are the rare market. Briefly, that if you see the difference between all these market, whether the perfect competition, we have only three important markets. We'll focus only three. That is perfect competition, monopolistic competition, and monopoly. Perfect competition, monopolistic competition, and monopoly. These are important market. If you see the difference, let us discuss briefly the difference between the perfect competition, monopoly, and monopolistic competition of the market structure because of the monopoly and the duopoly and the another market. These are very rare market. But we have commonly perfect competition, monopolistic competition, and monopoly. If you discuss one by one, for example, if see the number of seller in perfect competition, there are large number of buyers and sellers. Monopolistic competition, again we have the large number of buyers and sellers, but monopoly there's only one seller. In case of perfect competition, large number of sellers. In case of monopolistic competition, again large number of sellers, but in case of monopoly, only one seller we have. If we take the product, feature of the product, then perfect competition, homogeneous product. All product in, we have to assume, these are also assumptions of this market, that perfect competition, homogeneous products are there. The quality, quantity of the product, even the price are same, identical products are there. You cannot differentiate one product with another. But in case of monopolistic competition, product differentiation is there. Product differentiation. Because of close substitutes are available. Product can differentiate it on the basis of brand, on the basis of their quality, on the basis of their maybe packaging, on the basis of their color. So product differentiation is there in case of monopolistic competition. Whereas monopoly, homogeneous and can be differentiated. Monopoly. Price. If you take the next, for example, price. Perfect competition, we have uniform price, equal price. But in case of monopolistic competition, not uniformity. There's no uniform price because of product differentiation. In this market, we don't have the uniform price because of the product differentiation. And similarly, in case of monopoly, prices are not uniform because of price discrimination is there. Price discrimination means when monopolist sell a product, same product will sell different person at different prices. When a commodity is sold by the producer on different price to the different person of the same product is called as the price discrimination. So due to price discrimination, there's a no homogeneous, there's a no uniform price. If we take another important feature we have discussed, that entry of the firm. In case of perfect competition, pre-entry, there is no restriction in entry of the firm. Firm can freely enter, freely exit. Similarly, monopolistic competition, no obstacle. Firm can enter and firm can exit. If firm feel there is a possibility of profit, firm can enter. And if there is a possibility of loss, firm can exit from the market or from that group, that from the industry. But in case of monopoly, this is not possible to exit the market, enter the market. Oligopoly we have discussed. Oligopoly you can enter, but some restrictions are there. You have to pay huge amount. You cannot easily enter. Oligopoly, the product can be homogeneous or can be differentiated. And when the producers are producing the homogeneous product in oligopoly, they are called as the pure oligopoly. And when differentiated, then we call that market is differentiated market. So in case of oligopoly, there are restriction, but monopoly you cannot enter. There are restriction in entry. Next component we have discussed in this market, that is knowledge. Perfect, in case of perfect competition, we assume that the buyers and sellers, they have the perfect knowledge about the market. They knows about the buyer, but seller, the price of the commodity. They knows about the quality and the quantity of the product, because the same product is there. Even sellers are also known about the demand pattern or the taste or preference of the consumer, because of they have the close contact with the buyers. But in case of monopolistic competition, imperfect knowledge. Firms have, we assume that they have the buyers and sellers both have the imperfect knowledge. They don't have the knowledge about the market. Even monopoly, there's a perfect knowledge. Buyer and seller have, we have to assume. Even oligopoly is same. They don't have the knowledge about the market. They don't have the fully knowledge about it. But perfect competition, they have the perfect knowledge about the market. Another the concept, the features we have discussed in case of market, that that mobility. In perfect competition, we have to assume that factors are fully mobile. Perfect mobility is there. Perfect mobility is there. But in case of imperfect competition, factors can be mobile or maybe immobile. There's no necessity that there should be a fully mobility of the factor of production. Similarly, in case of monopoly and monopoly and oligopoly, factors may be mobile, and maybe there's a immobility is there. Average revenue, margin revenue, we have discussed another feature, that is AR, average revenue per unit revenue, margin additional, change in total revenue due to change in quantities, margin revenue, and total revenue divided by quantity. In the last lecture we have discussed is called as average revenue. So here, average revenue equal to margin revenue, it means this is the perfect competition. We have to assume in perfect competition, average revenue is equal to margin revenue. But in case of monopolistic competition, average revenue always will be greater than margin revenue. Average revenue will be greater than margin revenue in case of imperfect competition, means in case of monopolistic competition, and even in case of monopoly or oligopoly. In this market, we have to assume average revenue is greater than margin revenue. Selling cost, advertising cost is not required in case of perfect competition, because of all products are homogeneous. The sellers or buyers, they know about, the buyers know about the product, their quality, their price. So not required. Selling cost, advertising cost, promotional activities are not required in case of perfect competition. But in case of monopolistic competition, maybe monopoly is seldom. There's not compulsory. They can or they cannot. But in case of monopolistic competition, very significant. The selling cost is very, very important. Degree of price control we have already discussed. Firms in case of perfect competitions are the price taker, not price maker. The market force and demand and supply force of the market fix the price in case of perfect competition. That's why the demand curve, we have seen that horizontal straight line. But in case of imperfect competition, for example, monopolistic competition, there's a partial control over the price. There's a partial control over the price. But in case of you take the example of the monopoly, then monopoly, the seller has full control. Monopolist is the price maker, not price taker. And even if you see the oligopoly, they have also, there's interdependency. So these are the briefs, that the features of the market structure. So in this lesson, we have learned various definition of the term market. We have learned that market in ordinary language can be a particular place where buyer and seller, maybe they sell their commodity and buyer purchase the commodity. But in case of the economics, it does not mean a special place or a particular place. Market can exist anywhere. Market can exist anywhere. Three, the component is required in case of market: sellers, buyers, and commodity for exchange. We also listed the basic components of market. We classified the different types of the market, whether on the basis of area, on the basis of product, on the basis of time. Various types we have discussed. Perfect competition, we have a discussion, is a market structure where there is a complete absence of rivalry. Competition is not there among the firms. They are selling the identical product, same product. Monopoly, we have discussed, just one seller that determine the quantity supplied or market, that has the clearing price. Entry is not possible. So various features we have discussed in case of monopoly. Full control he has on the market. And monopolistic competition, many firms, each making slightly different product. Each firm's output level is small relatively to the total. They can partially fix and determine influence the price. And the oligopoly, very small number, few numbers of the few firms. The decision of each influencing the payoff of the other firms. There is a interdependency. And in coming lecture we'll discuss one important feature of oligopoly: the price rigidity. Price remains same almost at a particular point, because of there is an assumption that in oligopoly means we can assume that 2 to 10 firms. If the 2 firms are there, then that is called as the duopoly, a special case of oligopoly. But in case of oligopoly, more than 2, maybe less than 10. Oligopoly, there is an assumption that if we have, for example, 10 firms, if the one firm will increase the price, other will not increase the price. So the firm which will increase the price, that may be in a loss. The firm will not follow the same strategy. But if that firm will decrease the price, all other firm will decrease the price. There's a kink demand curve we'll discuss in coming lecture. When we'll discuss the concept of oligopoly, then we'll discuss the kink demand curve. In case of oligopoly, the kink demand curve is the combination of 2 demand curve, market demand curve as well as the induced demand curve. So with this, thank you very much.